stand, together for the first time since that memorable Rose Bowl winning season of 1967, three of the most Monica McKey, one of the Silver Twins, Stacey Wells, the girl in black, and of course, the legendary Golden Girl and former First Lady of our great state of Indiana, Tammy Davidson Christensen. What a homecoming day!
When is this stupid parade ever going to end?
Soon, I hope. My feet are killing me. My cheeks are about to split into pieces.
It should only be a couple more minutes. Besides, I'm loving this. My name's Neil the Oldie.
Yeah, you always did crave the audience.
Right, and you became head twirler for the quiet solitude.
We all wanted some attention, but Stacy, the way you danced, the way you swung those hips, you did want it a bit more.
Look who's talking, the Golden Girl. The face of the whole fucking university. And I'm the one who wanted attention.
I didn't audition for the part. I was just a freshman twirler, and the band director asked me.
Maybe, but you never seem to complain. Even now, look who is standing on the elevated platform.
I'm not the one who created this stand. It was just built that way.
And who said the middle stand was for you?
Well, I guess I just assumed that.
What the fuck? Hey, you driver, are you high or something?
Stacy, language. There are kids around.
I was talking to him earlier. He's a nice young man. Freshman engineering major. His grandfather went to school with us.
I don't know, his grandfather? What? Nothing to drink.
Do that. People will see.
Now, listen, let me have a drink.
I don't drink. Don't you remember?
Really? With all your political dinners and cocktail parties? I thought surely you were no longer a teetotaler.
Oh, I have a glass of wine now and then. Until Pete became governor, I didn't even have that. But while he was in office, there was a movement to promote the wine industry in Indiana, so I had to.
Indiana wine? What marketing genius came up with that? Amid the rolling cornfields and soybeans, there's Indiana's true treasure, Loser Chardonnay.
And what are the appellations? I'll have a Logan Sport Cab. No, a Floyd's Knobs Pinot. Oh, wait, never mind. A Gary Steele Syrah.
You always did enjoy mocking this state. I remind you that Hoosiers are the people who pay the taxes that help fund your education.
Oh, we are sorry. Continue, tell us about wine binging.
I was saying I had to have a glass of wine at events promoting the industry. Otherwise, my refusal to drink would be what the press would write about.
So, you're not an alcohol virgin.
Drinking a glass of wine is one thing, but drinking hard alcohol out of a glass, well, I'd never. And in public, you shouldn't either.
Well, that's why I'm using a flask. Private, I drink straight out of the bottle.
That seems pretty desperate.
Yeah, I was waiting for that, Miss Hoity-toity.
And what does that mean?
I know what that means. You always did act superior to all of us.
Superior? You were the golden
No.
girls.
You really should focus on more than just your twirling. You need to hit the books, not just hope for your MRS degree.
Now, there's nothing wrong with suggesting that us female students should concentrate on.
Remember her valedictory speech?
No, well, how could I forget it? People still think of me as a twirler, but my goal in life is that in 20 years no one will remember my days with a baton. To believe otherwise is to live a life of failure.
I meant that it's what you do after graduation that matters.
A good point. But the way you said it cut like a knife. Oh, and it was so typical of you and your twin, Sheila. Anytime one of us said something, we just whispered to each other and giggled like our conversation was beneath you.
Yeah, instead of the silver twins, we called you two the scholar twins.
Now imagine that, being mocked for studying in college.
Have you kept up with Sheila?
No, after she left school, I wrote her a couple times, but she never wrote back.
Oh my God, we're under the stadium stands now. What are we gonna do?
Well, if you paid attention, you'd know that we can either go out to our seats or hang out here until halftime when they'll drive us onto the field. Oh,
Well, that bracket's dangerous. Why is it there?
well, this is the trailer that they usually use to transport the world's largest drum.
Good old Purdue. Only a male-dominated university would make a big deal about the size of their instrument.
I think the drum is neat.
Well, that's my golden girl. I mean, there's not a part of this university that you don't love.
She even married a man with the same name as the mascot, Purdue Pete Christensen, student body vice president, destined for Indiana's greatness. I'm hanging out here. I've had enough of crowds.
Me too. Oh, go ahead. Your admirers are awaiting you.
Well, nah. I'll hang out with you guys. Hey, I've not seen you at homecoming before. How many of these have you been to?
Only one other. I had to separate myself from this. I'd walk into meetings and hear a whisper, "Here comes the twirler girl." I thought it was best to stay away.
Wow, and I felt guilty having only been to 10. I did have to cancel a few because of publicity schedule for a meeting, you know. How about you, Tammy?
I haven't missed one.
Figures. I don't know if any other alumni even remember me from back then.
Oh, I'm sure if you start swinging those hips in that way of yours, that people will remember.
There goes Racy Stacy, Miss Tits and Ass of 1967.
Well, the way you danced while twirling detracted from our group performance.
The group performance or yours? Okay. No. I wasn't like you, huh? I wasn't the classic, statuesque beauty. But when I was asked to be the girl in black, I figured I had to do something that worked for me.
I bet you did.
You, too, were the only ones who ever had a problem with it. Every other woman liked it because they could relate to me. And yeah, even the boys really liked it. Huh? You, too, were the type of women the boys wanted to marry, but I was always the one they wanted to fuck. And it paid off, so what's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it is it objectified women. Every time you shook that ass of yours, men thought less of us as co-workers and colleagues and more as sex objects.
God, we're talking about men. Get hard-ons for being a nun. If I danced more conservatively, they'd have acted me differently.
When you had a reputation. And because of that, we all retained it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't do anything to deserve a reputation. Okay, you know how many times I had sex while I was in college? Once.
Oh.
I did. I dated a guy for 4 months freshman year, and after finally did it, he never called again. So I decided that's it. No more unfulfilling sex with farm boys. It's really valuable lesson.
And what did you learn?
That I didn't need to have sex to be sexy. And learning to be sexy was what it took to be in Hollywood back in those days. I mean, look at some of the actresses in that era, and I was right alongside of them. The ones who believed that you have to have a lot of sex to be sexy, they got chewed up and spit out. So I took a different path. Huh? As soon as I had the chance, I got into producing.
But it seems unfulfilling.
Because?
Well, because of your...
Well, maybe because of your revolving doors marriage situations.
Well, what works for you two in the middle of nowhere might not work for everyone everywhere. When you both are in long-term stable marriages, that's cool. But in Hollywood, we don't live the same lives as you. I don't go into a marriage thinking until death do us part.
Well, how can you depend on...
You can't. You never had someone I could truly rely on, and yeah, so maybe that'd be nice. But I have no regrets. I had relationships with some of the most amazing men. I mean, for God's sake, I was married to an eagle. How cool is that?
Why would you care if he was a good scout?
Not an Eagle Scout. An eagle, you know, the band, Hotel California, Lion Eyes.
You can hide your lion eyes, and that's
Come on, Tony, didn't you listen to any music after Frankie Valley?
I got to introduce the Oak Ridge Boys at the state fair.
Great! My point is, I'm happy. Okay? I raised 2 children from those marriages. And they've given me 4 grandchildren. And I don't have to have a man in my life. My family and my career keep me plenty fulfilled. And I do something in my life besides making money.
And what does that mean?
We'll figure it out, Miss CEO.
You are so naive. You think that all the head of a company does is earn profits? I was responsible for 30,000 jobs. People got paychecks and bought houses and sent their kids to colleges because of the work I did. And on top of that, I was a role model for women everywhere.
Ha! Some role model. My films changed the world. Strong women characters who were inspirational. Right? You became head of a company that pushes consumer products, and the products were the same, the jobs were the same. I mean, what changed? And then when you retired, didn't a man replace you?
I created an environment in which sexual discrimination wouldn't be tolerated.
Well, I serve on the advisory board of the Gender Equity Research Center in UCLA. And when the director found out I went to school with you, she told me your company ranked near the bottom in actions against sexual harassers. She said you swept it under the rug.
And what the hell does she know? There are other ways of dealing with men than by simply firing them.
Like what?
By doing what men did to women for years. It used to be if a woman executive refused advances from her boss, she was shipped out to some outpost where her career languished. I started doing the same thing to harassers. I'd promote the men, send them to branching, to Pico, Macon, and that would be that. You can call me the Dexter of the workplace equality.
So you put a few sleazy men in your place, big time.
eventually word started getting out. Men soon realized there were consequences for their action. It changed company culture.
Well, what if they were falsely accused? It's so unfair. It's like those rumors about Pete's friend, like Richmond back in school. He had to step down as student president, and nothing was ever proven.
Tammy, it was true. Sheila told me about it.
Well, like I said before, you two always stuck together. You weren't there, but I was. Your twin was sloppy drunk, unbecoming a senior twirler. And Mike offered to help her home and then gets accused.
Just because he denied doesn't mean it wasn't true. What reason would she have for accusing him of attempted rape? And talk about unfair. She was the victim, and all because of all the attention and rumors, she had to withdraw from school.
Well, then she should have pressed charges. But the truth is she couldn't remember what happened. You were there, Stacy. Remember how drunk Sheila was?
Tammy, Margaret's right. It happened.
Oh, yes, I forgot I was talking to Feminists United. So Sheila told you too. Okay, so...
No, Sheila didn't tell me anything. I saw it. I stopped it.
What? What happened?
I left the main party for a smoke and headed to the hallway, and I thought I heard a voice yelling, "Stop!" And so I went to the door, and when I heard her say, "Stop" again, I went in, and Mike was holding her down with one hand and then buttoning his pants with the other, and I yelled at him to get off of her, and he told me to mind my own business. And so I ran up behind him and planted one of my 6-inch heels into his ass, and I grabbed Sheila and I pulled her out of there.
Well, why didn't you report it?
Oh, I went with Sheila to the dean's office, and they were anxious to keep it quiet. So the dean arranged a settlement. Sheila wouldn't file charges, and Mike would step down as student body president. Sheila didn't want the publicity, so she agreed.
That wasn't good enough. You should have done more.
I stopped a rape! Does that buy me any points in your corporate agenda? Besides, how is that any different than you shipping out your harassers?
Because there's a difference between harassment and rape.
I know, she wanted it that way, and I was supporting her. Oh my God, neither of us knew how that thing played out. I mean, rumors started, and then Mike had a lot of friends, and I don't know, it got to be too much for her. Okay, so she still got her degree, but she needed to do it off campus.
I still think that if people are accused of things, they should get the benefit of the doubt until proven guilty.
Yeah, like your fucking husband.
How did you bring that up?
We've explored everyone else's past, Tammy. Stacy's sordid marriage history, my greedy corporate deeds. What's wrong with shining the spotlight on the golden girl?
Those were your activities. I shouldn't have to defend Pete's.
Yeah, well, defend you did, Tammy. Stand by your man routine was all over the news, huh? And during the arraignment on robbery and bribery charges and the settlement, and even halfway through his sentence, Diane Sawyer did a feature on you. How you believed he sacrificed his freedom to spare the citizens the hardship of a trial.
And what is wrong with defending your husband?
It made you look weak. It makes all women look weak. No one believed he was innocent. He expected better from you.
You know, you can demean me all you want. You can boast about your accomplishments all day long. But I have one thing that neither of you ever had. A sense of loyalty. That's right, I'm loyal. I'm loyal to my children, to my state, even to that soon-to-be ex-husband of mine, and I'm loyal to this school. You mock me because I've been coming to every homecoming. It's the least I should do. You only came back when it fits your publicity schedule. and you didn't come back at all because it wasn't conducive to your corporate image.
And what do we have to be loyal about? This school exploited us for our sexuality.
Oh, bullshit! We all knew what we were signing up for. And you can say what you want to now, but I remember what you both were like as freshmen. You were so shy, you could barely say your name. So where did you get the moxie to start that trek up the corporate ladder? Don't you think the public appearances, however you were dressed, added to your business skill set? And you got to practice your moves on engineers and farm boys. Might have given you a bit of confidence when you moved to LA. Oh yeah, you're both self-made, but you got a bit of a head start right here with your experiences right here. And if I can come back to this place year after year.
What? Did you say soon-to-be ex-husband? Candy, what's going on?
We're getting a divorce.
I've heard that prison changed the man. Used for solitary life, and sometimes they have trouble reconnecting.
He had no trouble reconnecting. That's a problem. He reconnected with his former press secretary. He told me last week he wants to marry her.
What?
Yeah, well, he said that she waited for him all the years that he was in jail.
But you waited for him too.
I told him that. He said that didn't count.
Oh, what
Because I had nothing else to do.
I want you to take this card here. She's the best divorce attorney in Hollywood. And I'm sure she wouldn't mind flying out here for a high-profile case.
You carry around the card of your divorce attorney.
The number of times I've had to call her, I should have the number tattooed on my ass.
You know, maybe he'll reconsider.
No, he was ready to move out last week. I asked him to wait just so that I could enjoy this event, and he agreed, as long as I signed a non-disclosure agreement so that he could announce it on his terms.
He's a total asshole.
You know, it's always been really difficult for me to be compared to the two of you with all your accomplishments. I felt that at least I had my marriage. Now I can't even say that. Whoever thought that the one of us with the lasting marriage would be the corporate type?
You shouldn't feel that way, Tim.
Well, nice of you to say, but you have it all. The memories of a great career and a husband to grow old with.
My marriage isn't quite what it seems.
How so?
When I met Bill, I was climbing the corporate ladder at my company, and he was doing the same at Elsia.
The defense contract.
Yes. We became friends. We both enjoyed the arts. We could get each other's perspective on businesses. We were both having issues with being single. I was getting hit on by the older executives who assumed I was remaining single so I could sleep with them. And Bill was getting a lot of questions.
Well, in those days, successful men weren't single.
Right. So we decided it would be a good idea to marry each other. But there wasn't really love, just mutual like.
Why, you little slut. No love, just ballet performances, parlays about how to succeed in business, and lots of sex.
There wasn't much of that either.
Why not?
Wait a minute. Are you saying that Bill is
Gay as Elton John. We were each other's cover.
Well, I know I'm old-fashioned, but these days no one cares. Why didn't he come out 10 years ago, or why doesn't he come out now?
Because it's still old school in the defense industry. He's still on the board, and most of his friends are from the company. They just wouldn't understand.
wow. Maybe my marriage life wasn't that fucked up. Yes, with all these revelations, I need some nourishment.
I am sorry I have been so bitchy today. You two seem so relaxed here. For me, it's just never been that easy.
Oh, it's really not easy for me. Golden girl and governor's wife. All I really wanted to be was a mother and a grandmother.
You always look so perfect with that baton.
Oh, I haven't picked up a baton in 40 years. How about you?
Are you kidding? In Hollywood, the only time you touch a long, hard stick is if there's something in it for you.
Well, I'm sure you haven't either.
Actually, that was the one thing I liked about being a twirler, the twirling. Something relaxing about the concentration and focus. Sometimes before a big presentation or speech in the privacy of my office, I would take out my baton and twirl the bit. Ah. Oh.
I'm sorry about your situation. It must have been difficult keeping that secret.
Has it been all that bad? Thank goodness for discreet male escorts. And Bill's always been nice to me.
Well, can't say the same about my people.
Hey, after the game, let's drive down to Indianapolis. I'm gonna beat the shit out.
Thanks, Stacy, but I really never want to see you again. You know the worst thing? All I want to do is put this behind me. But next week, after he announces, reporters are going to be flocking to my doorstep. And there is really no form of life lower than a political reporter.
You're kidding, right? You should see business reporters. You announce the company's earnings and they immediately start questioning every part of your financial statement. They're all looking for the next Enron scandal.
Yeah, that's funny, but you're both out of your mind. You know the difference between a Hollywood reporter and a sperm cell? At least a sperm cell has 1 in a billion chance of becoming a human being.
If you want to avoid the pressure, you can come back to Chicago and stay with me.
Oh, or you could come visit me in California. You always said you would sometime.
You're both being so kind, but you know, I think I need to stay home and be around my children. But thank you.
Love to help. Every time I was in the paper, I could count on a nice handwritten note. Congratulations from you.
Yeah, me too. And she even sent me a sympathy card after each divorce.
I always thought it was what I should do.
And that's why you are the golden girl.
Oh,
And that's the end of the half. With the score, Purdue 21, Illinois 10.
Oh, thank God for Illinois. I mean, even when our team sucks, there's always the Illini who are worse.
Well, time for us to take our positions.
you know, what you said before about me assuming that I should be in the center, if one of you would rather go up there...
Oh, stop it. Come on. Get up there, Golden Girl.
Stacy, do me a favor.
Sure, you can go.
Pass me your glass.